we had an opportunity to get him to give a talk today, right? Before he goes back to, he travels quite a lot, you know, before he goes back to Canada, right, and some other places, all right? So in fact, we are very fortunate to get him. He has been busy for the last few days. He was in, prior to that, he was in, today he's here. Then he goes back to KL to give another talk, all right, before he flies off, all right? Therefore, today we have the opportunity of seeing him and hearing his talk, all right? He has wide knowledge, and you can ask questions, all right? And he should be able to answer, all right? So kindly be patient, because our time is 10:15. That's why I told him 10:15 he will start the talk, all right? So here we follow according to time, okay? Thank you.
Sukyo too. Good morning, brothers and sisters in Dhamma. Don't forget our Katina is on the 1st of October. Do come, right, and join in. There will be about 15, according to Bhante, not so sure yet, probably about 15 monks, yeah. So do come and join in. And for Bhante Dr. G. Chandima, right, actually it's a last minute arrangement. Right. So we are very fortunate, and he arrived here about 10:30 p.m. yesterday. Yeah, so it was a very busy day for him, and also today I heard he has got another talk in BGF in the afternoon. So he just request for another few more minutes. So just be a bit patient a while, and then I hope you'll benefit from his talk. He'll be going back on the 27th to where I'm not sure. Yeah. So now a lot of things I don't really want to know. Right? We just act at the moment and for the moment. You know, that is the best. So when Bhante contacted me, I think less than a week ago, he says before he go back to Sri Lanka, right, he would like to visit Sekiai and do some Dhamma sharing. So I took this opportunity. So lately we have a few monks, Reverend Mahinda, Mahatero. Also, he just said one day, he called me, he says he would like to come to Malacca. So we try to slot him, you know, among our very tight schedule. Yeah, Bhante, yeah. So let us pay respect. I give Bhante 3 bows, yeah.
Let us collectively give 3 bows to Bhante. Okay, once again, a very good morning. As I said earlier, this morning we have the pleasure to be in the midst of Bhante G. Chandima, who will deliver a talk themed MeritGram, how does it work to send good merits to the dead and living beings? Before that, please allow me to introduce Bhante. Bhante Dr. Gangodavila Chandima is the Associate Editor of the Journal of International Buddhist Studies, JIBS, which is published by the Buddhist Research Institute of Maha Chulalongkorn Vidyalaya University in Thailand. Quite a long name, huh? He was previously a research fellow at the Center of Studies in Religion and Society, CSRS, University of Victoria, Canada. Bhante Dr. Chandima was also the Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada from 2012 to 2016. Bhante is currently the senior advisor to Pattisota, a virtual Dhamma organization that hosts a weekly online Pali reading class, Sutta discussion, Dhamma talks, and a variety of other Dhamma activities. His Dhamma works can be accessed at website pattisotablogspot.com. Therefore, I shall now invite Bhante G. Chandima to deliver his Dhamma talk.
A very good morning to everybody, Dhamma friends. Thank you, Brother Veeramuni. I think you are the Vice President of this committee. Okay. Put me to a way that other people can see.
Vice President was last year.
Last. Brother Kim Se, President of this Sakyani temple, and Brother Veeramuni, and everybody who have gathered here, maybe committee members, maybe Dhamma friends, well-wishers for this morning talk. After the Buddha Puja, you are very fresh now to listen to a Dhamma talk. A good preparation is always necessary. That is why the Buddha said, you should not listen to the Dhamma at the improper time. Kalena Dhamma Savana. In the Mangala Sutta. You should not discuss Dhamma at the improper time. Kalena Dhamma Sakacha. Why is it? Let's say you are cooking and you are listening to Dhamma. You might not engage with the Dhamma properly. Your mind is not about the Dhamma. Plus, you are thinking that you want to make use of the time for that. But now you are very much prepared for that. Something will go into mind and to the heart, not only to the mind. So is the Dhamma discussion. So the Buddha said that there are two blessings that you are creating according to the Mangala Sutta by listening to the Dhamma at the right time and discussing the Dhamma at the right time. Kalena Dhamma Savana, Kalena Dhamma Sakata. What do you think now? Is it the proper time? It is. So you are ready, both mind-wise, heart-wise, and in all aspects. So today, as Brother Veeramuni mentioned, our topic to discuss, give a talk on is MeritGram. This is a word that I coined. You won't see this on the internet. And how does it work? How does the doing merits work to send good karma to the dead and living beings? Now the first thing is that we have to understand what is a merit. This is what we need to understand. As we know that merits and demerits, good karma and bad karma, they are part of the... Let's ask everybody of you, what is karma? And then we will talk about what is merit, good merit or bad merit, we call it demerit. What is karma in Buddhism? Karma means intentional action. Not all actions are karmas. In Buddhism, we have karmaless actions. You do, but you are not creating karmas. What are those karmas? Karmaless actions. Say for instance, you are driving on a highway, you are driving on a road. You might step on some of the tiny creatures on the road. You never know. But if you know, it is a different thing. And you are walking here and there. You might perhaps step on these tiny creatures. Are you creating karma? Not exactly, because you are not intentional about it. But if you know that there are tiny creatures and you are walking, and then you may create karma. What about one day, luckily maybe this lifetime, maybe next lifetime, then whatever the karmas you are creating after you become an arahant are not creating results. We call karmaless actions. Not all actions are creating karmas. But the Hindu karma is not like that. The Jain karma is not like that. Whatever the actions you are doing, you are creating karmas. So that thing has to be understood. Now, say for instance, you are doing good karmas. What are the basic good karmas you can do? 10 kusalas. These are the basic good karmas. You do karmas by mind, you do karmas by the speech, you do karmas by action. What are the karmas we can do by the mind? Let's talk about the akusala side. If you are so much greedy about things, about whatever the things you have, whoever the people you have, we call it greed. If you have greedy thoughts, that means you are creating the first mental akusala. We call it abhijja. The first akusala that you are creating is abhijja. If you are not doing it, you have less greed. Second is vyapada. Vyapada means thoughts of destroying other beings. Right? If you don't have such thoughts, you don't have vyapada. You have avyapada. That means you are creating good karmas. How can someone destroy other beings? Maybe destroy physically, destroy emotionally, destroy the reputation. It can be anything. So, you are not going to do that. So, this is the second kusala. You are always going to take care of other beings. You might not agree with them, but you should still be able to practice metta. Right? You might not agree with them, you might not like them, but you cannot stop practicing metta. Because metta is unconditional. It's not conditional. Second kusala. Third, micchaditti. Your perspective has to be good. What should be your perspective? Your perspective has to be full of kusalas, good things. I want to practice dana, sila, bhavana, patti, pattanumodana, veyyavaccha, apachayana, desana, sutiditti. What are they? 10 meritorious actions. Always your mind has to work with those 10. These 3 are for the mind. What about the speech? We are not supposed to lie to other people. Always trying to talk about speak the truth. Then you are creating one kusala. Second, you are always trying to speak in a way to keep people together, not separate people, not talk behind the back. You talk something here good, back door you're going to say something wrong about that person. Right? So you are creating an akusala. Because you have ulterior motives, wrong motives. Always trying to speak in a way to keep people together, not to separate anybody, not to destroy anybody's friendship, not to destroy other people's relationship. not to destroy other people, marriages. All these are part of Pisuna Vacha. It's a kusala. If you don't, akusala. Then, speaking the kind, gentle words, non-hurtful words. Is it an easy thing? It is easy to speak kind, gentle words? We think so. But it depends on the time. Sometimes when we speak, when we talk, we don't know whether the other person is hurt or not. So we have to reflect. If I use this particular word, is it okay? Because Buddha says, think before you talk. Think during the talk. Think after talk. Think before think. Interesting. Think during think. Think after think. Think before act. Think during act. Think after act. Thereby you are going to create lots of kusalas. Otherwise you are creating some kusala, more akusala. Right? So you are always making sure your words are gentle, kind, soft, and then meaningful to other people. Third, good kusala through the speech. Finally, not gossiping, not idle chatting. There are some people looking at the time, 10:27. We have 3 more minutes. Let's talk about something, just wasting their time. 30 minutes to 11 o'clock. We'll talk something. Right? You are not wasting your time by engaging in non-virtuous, unnecessary, meaningless, time-wasting things. That way, you are looking at your speech. Now you are creating 4 kusalas. Why 3 for the mind? Why 4 for the speech? It is because you create more akusalas by speech. That's the difference. Now let's talk about the body action. Not killing, not stealing, not taking what's not given, not misbehaving. And they are very pretty basic things. You are always trying to make sure that you are not taking other people's lives. You are not taking other people's stuff. You are not misbehaving in your sensual pleasures. Even if you are going to be late for an appointment, you are stealing other person's time. You promise you come at 8 a.m., but you are coming at 8:10 a.m. Other person is waiting for you. You are taking other person's time. It is not your punctuality problem. It is you are not respecting other person's time. That person could have done something else for that time. So, punctuality is also a part of adinadana in a way. Because adinadana is not even the physical adinadana. Somebody goes into a bank and do a robbery in the bank. That's the highest kind of, worst kind of adinadana. There is somebody who works in a government office, take one small pencil or pen from the office back home. And there is somebody who is taking other person's time. All are adinadana. Whatever the thing happening, even a small, middle, big, all are part of adinadana. It's your mind. Buddha looks at the mind, not the physical thing. Then the misbehaving. So these are the karmas, I would say. So let's say you are doing the opposite of these akusalas. You are always respecting other people's life, taking care of other people's lives. You are always respecting what other people have. You are behaving well. You are speaking the truth. You are always speaking in a way to keep people together. United speech. You are not going to divide other people. You are always trying to talk soft, kind, gentle, compassionate words. And you are always trying to speak meaningful words, useful, beneficial words. And you are always trying not to create lots of covetousness, extreme greed. As lay people, you cannot avoid greed all the time. You may have certain greed, but be careful that you understand you have greed. Some people don't even know that they have greed. But extreme greed is very dangerous. And then you are not trying to have any thoughts to destroy other people's lives, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, whatever way the ways, and you are trying to have right view all the time. So you are creating lots of kusalas. And there are small other kusalas, what we understand by dana, sila, bhavana. There's a list of 10. Dana means generosity, offering food, giving things to other people, even a good smile to other people. It's a dana. Volunteering, sharing knowledge, giving space to somebody who wants to go take you over on the highway, dana. There are different ways of doing dana, not only one way. Prioritizing monks and other people too, but practice generosity in many ways, not in one way. Then sila means practicing your precepts, but be careful, do not over practice, do not practice extremely. Then you will have silabbata paramasa, you will practice some cults. It's a fetter. You can't attain sotapanna one day if you practice sila that way. Bhavana means meditation. Is it important to us? Yes. But meditation has to be done differently. You can sit down and practice, and you can walk, you practice, you drive, you practice, you cook, you practice. You can meditate in many ways, not even one way. A lot of people think meditation can be done only by sitting. So you can do that also, but not necessarily. You have to look at other ways of practicing meditation. What is the meditation while you are cooking? Cooking properly. Slice up, cutting, washing. It's a meditation. What is the meditation while you are eating? Eating properly. You are eating and watching and checking everything. You are not eating food. The food needs some kindness from you, to digest. What is the meditation when you are talking? Talking carefully. Some people are not careful about talking, like I said earlier. Not think before talk, not think during talk, not think after talk. Meditation. Otherwise, when you sit down, you know that you can meditate, you're going to meditate. Like let's say you go and sit down for meditation, that means you know you are going to meditate. Do you think you will do akusala while meditation that way? No, not that much. Because that's in your comfort zone. Let's say someone here is going to sit down in a moment of time and going to meditate. That person knows that I am going to meditate. So mind is not that much distracted. But when you stand up, that is the time which bothers you a lot. So we have to more focus on that time. Other times, whether I can stay focused on what I am doing. Bhavana. Then patti pattanumodana. Patti means making merits. Our topic today. I'm still making the background for the topic, not yet the topic. Making merits. Now you are making merits today. Buddha Puja and all that. Pattanumodana, transference of merits. Right? Transference of merits. Veyyavaccha, cleaning. When you come to the temple, you clean the temple. Clean the Bodhi tree area. Clean the pagoda area. Sweep the floor. They all are meditations. Right? They all are meditations. Now when the son of Kisa Gautami passed away, she brought the dead body into the temple and then told the Buddha, can you heal my son? Did the Buddha say everything is anicca, everything is suffering, everything is anatta, now your son is dead, just go and bury the son? What did he say? I can heal your son, but on one condition. If you can find some mustard from a house where there were no people passed away before, then I will heal your son. So she was very happy. She brought the dead son. She thinks, now I can find the solution. she went from house to house. Then she asked, "Can I get some mustard?" They said, "Yes, we have lots of mustard in our kitchen." But while they are giving mustard to her, she asked them, "Can I know whether there are anybody who passed away in your household?" "Yes, our grandmother, our grandfather, mother, father." Then I don't need your mustard. I better go to another house. Then the same thing happened in that house. So she went to 100 or more than that many houses. She got the same answer. Then she understood death is inevitable. It's a common thing. It's a universal thing. My son experienced the same thing. I got to go to the cemetery and then understand. But if the Buddha had said anicca dukkha anatta at that point, she might not understand. The Buddha is a very good psychologist, psychotherapist. He knows what to do. Right? So that's why when you come to the temple, even when you are at home, cleaning, sweeping, this is very important for your spiritual practice. When you wake up, if you don't set up your bed, but then you go for the meditation. When you make up the bed, you know, I'm making up my bed. Setting my bed is good. I make the order. That order will go to your mind later. So that cleanliness, that orderly life is very important to our spiritual life. So veyyavacca. Apachayana, respecting. Right? Respect the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Then desana, talking Dhamma. It doesn't matter you talk Dhamma with somebody. But Dhamma that you understand by experience, not the book's Dhamma. You have to understand Dhamma by experience. Then Suti, listening to Dhamma, talking the Dhamma, listening to Dhamma. Finally, Ditthya perspective, right perspective. These are the additional good karmas you can do in addition to 10 kusalas. Now you understand there are good karmas and you are creating merits. Now we have to deal with two Pali words. What are they? Kusala and punya. What are they? Kusala, kusala, and then Punna. Punya. Are they same? Are kusala and punya same? Kusala means skillful activity. Punya means merit. Our topic today. Are they same? They are not same. Kusala means skillful action. That means whatever the activity you are doing without lobha, dosa, moha is kusala. Punya is complementary level of kusala. Let's say you are doing a kusala, you are creating punyas too automatically. Let's say it is raining outside. Are you supposed to go and water your garden? You don't need to. Your garden gets lots of water. Right? Some people are forgetting about the kusala. They are doing the punyas. That means they are giving dana, having lots of expectations in their mind. While you are offering dana, you have to reduce your lobha, reduce your dosa, reduce your moha. Otherwise, you will get everything what you did. You won't have desire to enjoy them. There are lots of food in the fridge, but you don't feel you want to eat them. What a pity, huh? So you have lots of clothes, but you don't feel that you want to put those clothes on. The Buddha said, if you offer with lots of expectations, they will become mere punyas, not kusalas. Try to reduce lobha, dosa, moha, and then offer, give. Now let's get into our topic. Merits. Now, what you can transfer is merits, not kusala. Because you are creating merits with kusalas, definitely. Are merits transferable? Can we transfer our merits? Are all our merits transferable? Most of them are transferable. Some are not transferable. Do you know that? Some merits are not transferable. Right? It's like a ticket, refundable ticket and non-refundable ticket. If you want to buy a non-refundable ticket, you have to pay a little bit more, right? You can change the ticket, change the date, change other things. If you buy a cheap ticket, you cannot do that. Then, that's it, regardless of you use or not. Some tickets are transferable, some are not transferable. You cannot give it to somebody. Only you can use. If you cannot, you just dispose it. In the same way, most merits are transferable, but there are certain cannot transfer karmas. That means our topic, as we understood, sending good karmas to the dead, departed ones and the living beings must be understood in the correct way. I use one sutta for that. The sutta's name is Janussoni Sutta in the Anguttara Nikaya. What is it? Janussoni. It's a name. It's a Brahmin name. Anguttara Nikaya. In this sutta, someone called Janussoni approached the Buddha and asked a question. I think it's a very good question. What he asked was, Bhante, now we are doing lots of good karmas. We are doing danas, we are doing sila, we are practicing meditation. In reality, are all these good karmas, I would say merits, being really received by the departed people? Has anybody of you asked this from a monk so far? You haven't. You don't need to, right? You think this is happened. It goes to them. He asked, are all these good karmas going to the particular person that we are thinking of? Then the Buddha said, it depends on the place where they are reborn now. How is it dependent on? The place, the realm that that particular person is reborn at the moment. Now let's figure out some other few things here. Do we have some Pali words for these people? What is the Pali word for the departed people? Huh? Peta. P-E-T-A. What is the meaning of Peta? Departed. From where? From here. But do you think that they are Petas anymore? They might be already reborn in a different place. But for us, we don't know. We still call them as Peta. What about our lives previously? How many people might remember us as Petas? But we are already living beings. In our billions, trillions of previous lives, more than that, how many people might be remembering us in different countries? May all these good karmas go to XYZ people. But we are good human beings now. But they still remember as a respect. We call them Petas. Call them Petas. Then what is the Pali term for the living beings that we know? If departed ones are called as Petas, what is the Pali term for the living beings? Like all of us, animals, devas, brahmas. Satta is a common term. Even Peta also Satta. Beings, living beings. The term that we use for living beings is Bhuta. What is it? Bhuta. Where do we find these words? Bhutava sambhave siva sabbe satta bhavantu sukhitatta. Where is it? Karaniya Metta Sutta. Where is it? Karaniya Metta Sutta. Bhutava sambhave siva. Bhuta means everybody who has been born but not yet passed away. They are called Bhuta. B-H, long U, T, long A. Bhuta. Then there is another type of being, Sambhavesi. Bhutava Sambhavesiva. Who are they? Sambhavesi. Beings who passed away already, looking for another place. We call them Sambhavesiva. Huh? Yeah, beings to be born, sambhavesiva. It is said that when you pass away and you become a sambhavesi, we call it Gandhabba, you are more genius than now. Why is it? You must find a place. Plus, you don't have a solid body at that point, a lot, like a very, very much solid body. When we have a solid body, we run into a lot of problems. Huh? We have to eat, we have to take care of it, right? So, Sambhavesi. Now, let's go back to Peta. Now, you know, Peta, Bhuta, Sambhavesi. Satta is a common term for everybody. Then who is Manussa? Humans, Bhuta. Animals, Bhuta. Brahma, Deva. Departed ones, we don't know where they were reborn, Peta. Now, I told you that the question that was asked by Janusoni Brahmin from the Buddha is that, Bhante, are all our good karmas, merits, going to be received by the departed ones that we are thinking of, my mother, my father, my other relatives? Then the Buddha said, it depends on the place where they were reborn now. Now the Buddha starts explaining this phenomenon. He first informed the crowd, Janusoni, that there are 3 places. If your departed one was reborn, that person cannot receive good karmas now. 3 places. 1. If your departed person has killed other beings, stole, misbehaved, lied, talked behind the back, spoke very bad words to other people, gossip a lot, had lots of greed, lots of intentions to destroy other beings, and wrong view, after the death, that person is going to be born in one of the hells. H-E-double-L. Hells. Then that person cannot receive good karmas. Why is it? If you are reborn in a hell, how are you going to get the good karmas? You are not in the right place to get the good karmas. Is the place a point of matter here? Yes, let's say you send money through Western Union or MeritGram or any other app. Just because you send the money, can the recipient come and get the money? No. Recipient has to show, I'm a legit person, I have an identity card, I have a government ID, or I have to go to a pickup point to get the money. I have to prove, that recipient has to prove that I am the person that person sent money to. Then of course you can get the money from the cash point, online or whatever. Just because you send the money, that person cannot always receive the money. So the Buddha said, if somebody has done lots of akusalas, 10 akusalas, now reborn in a hell, that person cannot receive good karmas now, this moment. Because he or she is in a hell. How many hells do we have in Buddhism? We have 16 hells, 8 hot hells, 8 cold hells. A lot of people know only the hot hells, right? Sanjeeva, Kala Sutra, Sanghata, Raurava, Maharaurava, Tapa, Pratapa, Avichi, the highest, worst. And there are 8 cold hells. They are interesting. Like when you have lots of cold, shivering cold, you feel like throbbing, shaky, emotions. Maybe the being is reborn in a very cold place, suffering a lot from the cold. It is one of the hells. So if you are reborn, if your relative is reborn in one of those 16 hells, one of the 8 hot hells or one of the 8 cold hells, that person cannot receive good karmas now. Second place where your departed ones cannot receive good karmas is that if your departed person has done any of the 10 akusalas and reborn as an animal, maybe a dog, maybe a cat, maybe a fly, maybe a mosquito, maybe the elephant, whoever the animal, Because that person is in an animal life, until the animal life is going to be finished, that person cannot receive good karmas now. Because already became an animal. These are two places where your relatives cannot receive good karma. Then there are two good places, but still they cannot receive good karmas. What are they? Your relative who passed away was reborn in one of the heavens. We have 6 heavens: Chatum Maharajika, Yama, Tavatinsa, Tusita, Nimmanrati, Paranimita, Vasavati. If your relative places heavens, that person cannot receive good karmas because they have lots of happiness over there. That not being able to receive is good because they already have all the comforts. Devas don't need your good karmas. Then why do you give good karmas to Deva at the end? For what? I heard that you giving good karmas just now. Why are you giving good karmas to them? For what reason? Tell me why. Were you thinking that they need lot of good karmas from you? Huh? Your pleasure is one thing. Other thing, the main thing, the reason? They come down. They say they come down here. To Sekyani, huh? Look at it. Good. It's good, you know. They come down. Now, when you understand the Deva, there are ground Deva, and there are sky Deva, there are house Deva, and there are tree spirits. Right? Every house has a Deva. You haven't checked out that, huh? The particular Deva that is going to occupy in your household depends on your level of spirituality. If the household has lot of troubles, arguments, lot of akusalas happening, bad things going on, right? Then an inferior Deva is going to occupy. Remember, this happened to Anatha Pindika, right? The person who offered the Jetavanarama temple in India. There was a time that his wealth was swept away by the flood. So he was giving dana every day for 500 monks with the Buddha. One day his money, his wealth was swept away by the flood. So he was very unhappy. And then he went to see the Buddha and then said to him, Bhante, I cannot give like before. I have no money like before. But I try my best to give dana. The Buddha said, it's okay. Then the same night, the household Deva in the front door came to his chamber. And he asked, who are you? He said, I am the Deva in your front door. So now you understand, you have given too much dana to these monks. So every time they come, I have to, worship them. I have to be on the ground too. Because when the Buddha is coming, I cannot be in the top. So now you better stop for some time. Whenever you get some money, then he chase him away. I will do my job. You don't need to advise me. That means every house has a Deva in that interpretation. So the idea here is that if your relative becomes one of the Devas, you don't need good karmas at that point. One reason why you transfer good karmas, share good karmas, as you said, your pleasure. But the most important reason is that to reduce our selfishness. That is the most important reason. When you are doing a lot of good karmas, what is happening? What can happen in your mindset? You will be over happy that I am doing lots of good karmas. And then, like when you meditate, when you do a good karma, it might go in a way that can develop selfishness. Selfishness can go from bad things and also from good things. Sakkaya Ditti. To minimize, I am going to transfer good karmas to the departed ones, and I am going to share good karmas with the Deva, Naga, Mahitika. Departed ones, they need good karmas, but Deva, they don't need good karmas, but you do it. At the same time, there are some Devas, they need some good karmas from you. But overall, we are doing it to reduce, because if you are a good person, you don't need to request Devas. You are always protected by Devas. There was a time, the head god Sakka's driver, Matali, witnessed that the Sakka was respecting different directions. And he asked, "My lord, you are the Lord of the heavens. Who are you respecting?" "I am respecting individuals, families who are really taking care of each other. Men and women who are taking care of their families, who are carrying each other. I respect all of them." So Sakka also respects you if you are a good person. Right? So if your relative became a Deva, those Devas cannot receive good karmas now. But Devas are not Devas all the time. They will die one day. Okay? The fourth place is, if your relative became a Manusa like us again, then because you became a Manusa, you cannot receive good karmas that those people in your past life are doing at the moment. Because you cannot become a Manusa, human, without a massive good karma. Right? You cannot become, because you must have done a very massive, very big good karma to become a human. Right? So these are the ways. The Buddha said, if your relative became a person in the hells, an animal, a Deva, Manusa, they are good. If your relative went to these places, they cannot receive good karmas now. Then the Brahmin Janusoni was a little bit upset. Then, Bhante, what is happening to our good karma? I don't think that most of the time our relatives go to these places. Then he said, there's one place, if your departed one was reborn there, only that departed person can receive good karmas. This place is part of the Peta world. There are 4 types of Petas. Nijjama Tanhika, Kuppipasa, Pansu Pisacha, Paradattupajivi. Paradattupajivi. Any departed person who became a Peta under the 4th place, Paradattupajivi, can receive good karmas. They are the only ones who can receive good karmas now, at this moment. What is that place like? It is a transit. Now, if you are traveling to another country, if you have to pass through a transit airport, are you going to be there for many days? Maybe a couple hours, maybe maximum 1 day. Right? You have to pass through. You cannot. So, beings in this Peta world spending a life like a transit. So, they are expecting your good karmas. Are those beings, if your departed person was reborn in that place, then only your good karmas will be instantly received by those Petas. Not all Petas, only Petas in one particular Peta world. Then there was another question posed by Janusoni. He was very much scared. Bhante, I don't think our relatives might be reborn in that place. Then the Buddha said, don't worry. In case your good karmas cannot be received by that particular person, then you have lots of jnatis, departed ones in your sansara. They will show up. Anybody who can come and take, and then they will become happy. They will be reborn in a better place. What about that particular person I want to give? He or she also one day will benefit from those good karmas, because you cannot control that person's ability to come fast. It is that person's ability. That person has to come, and then if that person cannot come, the good karmas, punyas are just be in the limbo. They are in the limbo. Whenever that person is able to come, get, and then receive, and then enjoy the good karmas. Now you understand how the good karmas work. It is not the way how you think. Every time you pour the water, it is not making sure that they are getting it. But you are making sure you are doing your part. Your part you must do. And then they are able to get the good karmas that way. Now this is about the Petas. Let me share with you some couple of things about the Petas. One story. This story is mentioned in what you call the book called Peta Vattu. Peta Vattu is full of stories about the hungry ghost. Now, in one of the stories, one Arahant monk, his name is Pottapada. What is the name of the Arahant? Pottapada. Arahant Pottapada, in his kuti, then one Peta appeared later in the evening. Now you might wonder why Petas cannot appear in the daytime. Huh? Petas want to give the message well. Then he asked, who are you? Then that Peta told Arahant Pottapada, Bhante, I am your brother who passed away a few months ago. Not even me became a hungry ghost, but also your mother, father also became Peta. Now how much we should be worried? Arahant's mother, father, brother became Peta. And what about our people? What about us? That is a green, not a green light. It's a red light to think about, right? So, then he asked, how can I help you? Because he is an Arahant. Bhante, we don't have clothings now. Can you do something for us? Then the next day, he went for Pindapata. He got some clothes from the people, maybe some robes. Then he offered to another Sangha, another Arahant or Sangha. Then couple of days after, the same Peta, his brother, appeared. Then he seems to be asking something else. Then he said, Bhante, thank you for the clothings offering. We got clothings. Because the first thing the Peta needs is clothings. That's why when you are transferring good karmas to the dead person, you are offering a white cloth to the monk or robes to the monk. Because Petas don't do job. They don't do part-time job, full-time job. They don't do farming. They don't do anything. They are not working people. What they need is good karmas. Even how much you cry, it doesn't make any sense to them. You cry because of your problem. Right? Because you cannot understand what happened. Of course, you may cry, you cannot heal otherwise. But for them, crying tears are not helpful. They need something. Good karmas only. There is one sutta in the chanting book, Tirokudda Sutta, it says everything. So then the Peta said the next night, Bhante, thank you for the clothings. Now we need water. We don't have water to drink. Then the Arahant Pottapada said, look, the river. It's a large river. No, cannot. Then ask why. If I and your mother, father, we are Peta, we go and take some amount of water, the water becomes blood for the bad karma they did. Then, okay, I will do something tomorrow. Then he offered some water to some other Sangha. Then the Peta did not show up for another couple of nights. Then again the Peta, this brother Peta showed up. Thank you for the water also. Then he asked something. Bhante, we don't have a shelter too. The Petas also need some houses. Huh? They need some housing. You think only you need some housing. Petas also need houses. So then he said, I would do something. Then Arahant Pottapada asked one of his friendly devotees, said, I want to offer a kuti to other Sangha. Can you make a kuti for them? And he offered to other Sangha. Then for some time, the Peta did not show up. And all of a sudden he showed up. He said, Bhante, thank you for everything, but now we have a problem. When we were walking on the pebbles prick our soles, the feet. can you do something? That means they need some footwear, some shoes, some slippers, some stickers. Then he offered some footwear to other Sangha. Then he disappeared, he did not come back. What does this story mean to us? This story says Petas need things and they cannot approach other people, they only approach their people. Other people don't care about them. Petas only appear to you if they need. If they don't appear to mean, you have done your job very well. Maybe they are also good. If the Petas are coming to your dream, that means you have to do something for them. Right? So, remember what happened to Bimbisara. Who is Bimbisara? The king who offered the first temple to the Buddha, Velu Vanarama. After he offered the temple, at the same night, he saw some weird dreams, nightmares. And then he informed the Buddha, Bhante, I did the highest, largest good karma, but see these sounds, some Petas showed up. Then the Buddha said, Petas were watching you, and yesterday they saw you did the best good karma, but you did not remember them. Now they are troubling you. Tomorrow, do something by thinking of them. Another sutta in the suttas, Tirokudda Sutta, it says, Petas think about their previous people. When my previous relatives are eating good food, they are not remembering us. When they are enjoying their comforts, they are not thinking of us. So you have to give good karmas every time, every moment. Even you light a candle, think about, may all these good karmas go to them. You never know, something very interesting happens after that. Once you give good karmas to them, they are wishing you back. May my good relatives who gave me good karmas also be well, happy, have longevity and safety. You think only you do. They also do in return. They are very thankful, grateful people, like some human folks. Huh? When we do some good karmas, some people you might trouble. They are not appreciative about us. But these departed ones are very grateful to you also. So in this way, the Buddha said, transference of merit is possible. It is going to your departed ones in the real time, at the right time, if they were reborn only in that particular Peta world. But if your relative was reborn in one of the heavens, human world, or became an animal, or became a being in the hell, they cannot receive at this moment. But no human is going to live longer, permanently. No animal is going to be animal forever. No Deva is going to be Deva forever. No hellish being is going to be hellish being. That means they have to die. Then of course, they can get your good karmas because they are being in, limbo. They are for you one day, those relatives will receive good karmas like from an inventory. When you put things in inventory, you get things in order. This is how merit transference works. Now let's talk about other beings. When you do a good karma, in addition to the Peta, you are also thinking about Deva. I said one reason, as Brother King Say told, pleasure, our happiness, we need to share that happiness. The main other reason is that we are going to reduce our selfishness attached to our good karmas. Because when you are doing dana in a row, you might feel you are doing the best, better than other people. You might create some sakkaya ditti. It is not good, because you are doing that to reduce your sakkaya ditti. Right? Sakkaya ditti means you understand what is the particular activity and who are you. So, every time you do a good karma, you must share good karmas with Deva, Naga, Mahiddika, not only with them, but also with your other family friends. How do you share good karmas with others? You phone somebody. You know, I did a good karma today. I offered dana. So that person also happy by looking at. Some people post dana pictures on Facebook to share, right? They think that if they don't share, merits are not being shared by other people. They also post food, everything they post, right? Maybe a modern way of sharing good karmas with other people. Sadhu, 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 maha sadhu. You know, some people say maha sadhu, not sadhu. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So different ways of sharing. Other people are happy. They are also feeling good. Because when you see internet, you always see very troubling news. People kill each other, people die. This happened, that happened. So when you see that kind of a picture, you also feel happy. That happiness is very important. So in this way, transference of good karma is very important. Not all good karmas can be transferred. It depends on the place where you were reborn and where your departed one reborn. But merits can be transferred. One very important thing I wanted to make note, and otherwise I'm going to leave you for questions. Some people might think when you do a good karma, when you share, when you transfer to departed ones, when you share with other people, the level of good karma is going down. It's not like that. It's a pond in the mountain. It's a pond in the mountain. You don't see rivers are coming here and there. You see a mountain where there are some ponds, some lakes. The water, the ponds are not from the rivers. There are no rivers connected to the ponds. The rivers are picking up, getting the water from the earth. Fountains. In the same way, the more good karmas you are giving to other people, the more good karmas you are creating. Don't be selfish for your good karmas. Because it is not like a river that goes to the ocean. It is like a pond which has a fountain where you see the water is bubbling up from the earth. That means the more you give good karmas to others, the more good karmas coming on your way till you attain Nibbana. Because without good karmas, you cannot live in a comfortable way. All right, now I will leave you with some questions. If there is any question about merit transference, you can ask. And there is a mic, I think.
Yeah, brothers and sisters, Bhante is open for question time. So you can forward any questions to Bhante.
Ask questions and make your Petas happy. Oh, Brother Mike, yes.
Good morning, Bhante.
Yes, good morning.
But this question is nothing to do with today's one. Is it okay?
It is nothing to do with?
Nothing with today's topic.
Topic, yes.
Yeah, it's something that always in my mind.
Yeah.
The question that I have is when Gautama passed away. Yeah,
when?
Gautama.
Shakyamuni Buddha passed away.
Passed away. Did he stop existing? Did he stop existing?
He stopped
Exist.
assisting others.
No, existing. That means.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I ask this because what's the use in becoming enlightened, and when you die, it's the end of the road. Yeah, I hope it's clear enough. The question.
Okay. This is a question looked at from the physical part of the Buddha. Actually, Buddha has not passed away in our mental life. How many people are becoming blessed every day? His physical life was gone. He has to go after 8 years of life. But his innovation is his Dhamma, not his physical body. Dhamma is still with us. We are getting benefited. We are practicing. So we cannot say he has stopped assisting anymore. Assistance is always becoming more and more. I think in a world today, we need a lot of Buddhist teachings for the present world. Confusions, conflicts, wars. So we have to take it that way. Although he passed away, then he should have lived for 1,000 years. He cannot. Then he has a primary contradiction with what he taught. Everybody has to die. Right? He died according to his karma, but he has left behind, has left his legacy to us. So we are still benefiting every day. When a monk is giving a Dhamma talk, when you practice your Dhamma practice at home, we are being assisted by him, although he is not physically there.
Oh, this person asked.
That is how we have to take it. Yes, brother, you have a question?
Bhante, there is a question, but this is from the online
Facebook.
Yes. This person asked, Bhante, how do we sense, feel, smell the presence of Petas that need our help since we cannot touch or see them physically?
It is not normal to sense a Peta physically. What we hear is that Petas appear in a dream. This is what we know. But in the case of Arahant Pottapada, he appeared. Maybe Arahant Pottapada could understand with his enlightened knowledge, enlightened mentality. But normally, Petas cannot give you any indications sense-wise. If so, you must be a very weak person. Can we see Deva? No. Can we see Peta? No. But certain individuals feel that they smell, they taste some Peta. I remember there was a house long time ago in Sri Lanka, in the south. Now, the monks had a internal chat that the coconut milk curry that they make is always expired. The lady said, we just made it. We just made it around 11, but we are going to have it 11:30. It's already rotten, expired. They had a belief. They believed that there is a Peta who is always thinking, or always trying to make food expired very fast. Right? There are very isolated incidents. They are not very rampant. They are not very normal. So I ask you not to try to feel the Petas. That is dangerous and that is unnecessary. Our business, our dealing with the Peta is only transferring good karmas. Other than that, do not do anything. That's a very dangerous area. Don't touch that area. And you don't have to. The Buddha said, what they need is only your good karmas. But if you are not giving good karmas, they might trouble you. If you are weak, they might trouble you more. How can you become strong? Practice more Dhamma. Practice more Kusala. 10 Kusala. Then they cannot attack you. They cannot disturb you. Even Devas cannot attack you. There are some Yakka Devas. They cannot attack. So I think we don't have to do that. We don't have to physically smell, see, taste, all that. Now I always take the example, a dog. The range of the sounds of the dog is 16,000 hertz, normally. That's why you see a dog is sleeping, but he's not sleeping. He's disturbed all the time. What if, now the humans have, I think, a pretty low level of decibels, hertz. Why? If you hear the same range of hertz like a dog, you will never sleep. You cannot sleep. That is the wonder of becoming a human. We are very blessed. We got everything to the level of a human being. Why are you trying to become a part of that kind of a range? You don't need, you don't have to. Right? Because then you hear all the sounds from all the ghosts. Hungry ghost, other people, in other countries, everything. That is really disturbing to us. So my advice to that question is, do not try to feel Petas physically. Try to give good karmas to them by ways of transferring good karmas and finish that activity at that point. But if Petas are trying to come into your dreams, maybe a little differently in your household, you need to transfer water, pour water, and then do a dana, maybe some extra good karmas. I think that is more than enough. Other than that, do not put your hands into that dangerous zone. It is not necessary.
Okay, Venerable Sir.
Somebody.
Oh.
Okay.
Bhante, I've got a question. You mentioned earlier that you need massive karma in order to be reborn a human. How come when that guy, after being reborn, becomes bad? Right? After being reborn as a human being, then he becomes a bad person. How is it that, or how does that happen?
I didn't get the second part. I said that in order to become a human being,
You need massive karma,
we need it and we had it, we enjoy now.
then you're reborn.
Mhm.
Then after he's being reborn, how come he becomes a bad person? With all the massive karma.
Massive karma help you to become a human only. It does not guarantee how you going to navigate your life. You see some very rich people, so rich, you can't even think about how rich are they. But now they are doing some bad things, exploiting others. They are doing lots of akusalas. Now what will happen to their human life if they are becoming humans again? It will go differently. That massive karma only brought to you become a human. Because in Buddhism we don't believe everything is karma. Karma help you to become a human, then it is up to you how you want to think about, how you want to act, how you want to talk, how you want to act, think. Then you are creating another bad karma, then you are creating a different avenue again to a different life. Maybe you might not be reborn in a human life.
Okay, Venerable Sir, thank you very
Yes.
much, Reverend, for giving an excellent talk. This is just a matter of words. There are some quarters who says that we cannot transfer merit, we only dedicate merits.
We only
Dedicate.
dedicate merits.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's a matter of words, and they say transfer merit is just like in the bank, we transfer money and things like that. So we more or less dedicate. I also don't know what's the meaning of dedicate. It's also kind of, I think it's a matter of use of words.
I think this happens when people don't understand the Pali context. They are struggling with the English terms,
Okay.
which
okay.
means transference, dedication, sharing. All these are words that we use to understand. Actually, when you send money, somebody has to take it. When you dedicate something, somebody might not take it too. So I think the better terming for is transferring, because then you feel that this is going from you to somebody. When you say dedicate, you might not know whether that person can take it or not.
Okay.
So I think if you look at the Pali Sutta context, an appropriate word could be transference. But don't be attached to this word also, because we are trying to understand the whole activity of what is happening. Yeah, so better to say transference. Or we could say but another Pali word is that what you call anumodana, punya anumodana. But anumodana means the person on the other part of the place, on the other side, has to receive it. If he or she has to receive, you have to send it. Do you see any elements of sending in the dedication? When you use the word dedication, you see sending, receiving part? I don't think. They are not meant in the dedication. You simply dedicate.
Yeah. So we don't have to waste a lot of effort and energy over all these words sometime,
No,
Just
they
to
are.
be more
Yeah,
practical.
we don't have to. We
Yeah.
just do our activity only.
Correct. That's why I'm trying to do the message I'm going to
Yes.
send. Another one is, were you often to hear our late chief, he always talk and he always laugh. He says, hell and heaven is sometime here and now.
Yeah, it is. Animals are living here.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
it could be.
Okay.
It could be. And we don't worry about it. We worry about whether our good karmas can be received by them or not. That is the only thing. We don't want to locate these places in particular. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Bhante, this is from the same person who asked, it's from our online participant. How do we prevent our last thought at the moment of death to be full of greed, hatred, or anger, so that we are not reborn as Petas?
Practice satipatthanas. In other words, if I make it very simple, reflect before think, reflect during think, reflect after think, reflect before talk, reflect during talk, reflect after talk, reflect before act, reflect during act, reflect after act. When you do it 24/7, 365, you will die sometime in the process, then you will have it. Because we don't know when we are going to die, what time, when. So that practice will help you to die without lobha, dosa, moha. Yes.
Bhante, this is a personal question from me, right? Now, this particular question I intended to raise many times to during many talks, but I did not. But today is a very appropriate subject that you're talking, which was in my mind all this while, right? Now, of transferring of merit. So normally we transfer during death, or even some festivals that we are celebrating, we transfer to the date and all that. So assuming, I give you an example, let us assume that one of my relatives has passed away, and that person has been reborn as a human, right? Let's say for the last 10 years, he has been reborn, assuming only, right? So whatever we transfer, we are supposed to transfer to the dead. But now we are actually, right, according to the Buddhist belief, we are transferring these to the dead, but if it's reborn as a human, but all these 10 years we are transferring to the person. Is it true?
A very good question. Now I said, if your relative became a human being, she does not need good karmas now. He is a human being. But how do we know whether our relative became a human or not?
Yeah. So
that is why we are doing. And partly it is not because of that. It is also our respect, gratitude. Let's say your mother passed away. How do you know whether your mother became a human again? You want to go to a person who knows that. Nobody can say that. So, till you die, you are doing it as a respect. Part of your respect to your mother, gratitude to your mother. But mother may have already gotten a human life. So let's say your mother passed away, maybe was reborn as a human being somewhere else in this world. But you are doing a lot of good karmas. And she cannot take those good karmas now, as I said in the sutta. But one day, they are ready for her. If she wants, if she needs, she can take out of those good karmas. So I think it's not fruitless, it's not meaningless, it's very apt, it's very necessary, it's very important to keep doing that. So there is nothing going wasting in that practice.
Okay.
One thing is that we don't know where she was born, if she was born as such, but one day, if she needs, she will take it.
Yeah.
But because we are not doing just because she needs or not, we are doing our part. Our part, we have to do it all the time as loving children for them.
Yeah, and furthermore, today I felt very enlightened because this subject really that's very suitable for me to hear today, especially the 8 places, the 8 hells that our transference of merit we cannot transfer to them, and the 2 other places for the devas, to the other 8 good births. So thank you very much, Bhante. I'm very enlightened today.
And these are not my thoughts, these are the Buddha's thoughts. You can check Anguttara Nikaya's Janusoni Sutta. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, I think we have... Yes, anybody has anything else?
Any more questions? We can take one more question before we end this session.
Question, yeah, there's one lady over there.
Okay, hope
that
this will be the last question because...
Hello, Bhante. I'd just like to ask a question that you always say you can transfer merits to departed ones. can we transfer merits to departed ones that are not of Buddhist faith? Maybe Christian, Islam, Hindu, but they are related to us. Can we transfer merits to them, and are they able to receive it? Or is it transferring of merit is only for Buddhist faith? Thank you.
We are not transferring to our Buddhist relatives. We are transferring to the departed relatives. As religion does not play any bearing on their next life. Maybe a Christian, maybe another faithful person. We don't mind about it, right? So we are transferring to the person. We don't know what religion that person might be embracing in the next life. We don't need it. It doesn't matter to us. So we are transferring to the person, departed person. Let's say you have a Christian friend and they expect rest in peace, but you don't tell that, but you in your mind, may he attain Nibbana. Right? It doesn't matter. So religion does not play any issue in transferring good karmas.
So, brothers and sisters, thank you very much. And the session has ended. And further questions, I will be keeping in touch with Bhante. We'll be having a retreat. You can throw as many questions as possible during that time. All right? So thank you very much. Before we end, we would like to give a token through Sekiai Board of Management to Bhante, and through our President, Brother Tan Kim Si.
Blessing. Short blessing. Okay. After this, huh? Okay. Yeah. I would do a short blessing and then transfer good karmas. Now we are going to do the same thing, transfer good karmas. Huh? May all of you be well and happy. May all of you be protected by Deva, Naga, Mahidika, in particular, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, for good health, quality of life, prosperity, and safety. Thinking thus, I am going to bless you with some stanzas. Please receive the blessings. Sabbitiyo vivanjantu sabbarogo vinassetu mate bhavatvanterayu sukhi digayuko bhava bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sutti bhavantu te nakhatta yakha bhutanang papangaha nivarana parittassanubhavena hantu te sang upandave devo vassatu kalena sassa sampatti hotu ca pito bhavatu lokho ca raja bhavatu dhammiko te sadhu sadhu sadhu. Now we are going to transfer all the good karmas to the departed ones. May all the departed ones in your life, maybe your parents, maybe your grandparents, maybe other people's siblings who have passed away, in the name of all of you in this life and past life. May all these departed ones be well and happy. May all these good karmas be transferred to all the departed ones. And may they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu.
Idamme ñāti nang hotu sukhita huntu ñātayo. Idamme ñāti hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñāti
nang hotu sukhita
hontu ñātayo. May Deva, Naga, Mahidika be well and happy. May they share all these good karmas. May they protect and bless all the resident monks here, and then committee members, friends, devotees, well-wishers, Dhamma friends who have showed up here and couldn't show up here for other reasons. May all you be protected and blessed by the Deva, Naga, Mahidika for good health, quality of life, prosperity and safety. In particular, may they bless you for your Dhamma journey. May your Dhamma journey be a short one, and then you can attain at least a Sotapanna in any time soon. May Deva, Naga, Mahidika finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavatacha ammihi sambhatang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhiya akasattacha bhummatta mahiddika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu loka sasanang chirang rakkhantu desanang chirang rakkhantu mang paranti chirang rakkhantu tvang sadati. In this endless sansaric journey, may we be in the company of the Kalyana Mittas, noble friends, and not be with the Papa Mittas. Thinking thus, we are going to make a wish. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagamu satang samagamu hotu yavanimbana pantiya. Finally, may all the good karmas which we all been accumulating by listening to a talk about how to transfer good karmas to departed ones and other beings be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu,
sadhu, sadhu.
Blessings will follow. Abhivadana silissa niccang vaddha pacaino chattaru dhamma vaddha panno sukhang balang ayurarugya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati saminjatu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Wishing you a very pleasant day till you listen to another Dhamma talk.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Brothers and sisters, let us give three bows to Bhante for his wonderful talk today.